Hey, what's up, guys? Have you ever been in that situation where you are meeting a bunch of people and you have no idea what to talk about? Okay, so I am in that situation a lot, and a lot of people ask me, "Man, how do you network so well? Man, it just seems like you know everybody." And I'm like, "Man, I'm not really. I don't feel like I'm very good at meeting people. I don't feel like I do a good job at it." But I watch people that are, and I'm like, man, that is brilliant. But other people look at me and they say you do a good job. So anyway, it takes a lot of energy for me when I'm at events, meeting new people, things like that. When I get into I don't know, conferences, things like that, I kind of get into a mode and I'm just kind of like meeting everybody. But it's really hard for me, especially when I'm meeting a brand new person comes to my house and I'm like, what do I do? What do I talk to them about? And so I have this little thing that helps out a little bit. I got this from John Maxwell's book, Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. He talks about F.O.R.M, that when you're talking to somebody, you can use F.O.R.M. So the letter F there is for family. You can talk to them about their family. Tell me about where you're from. Talk to me about your brothers, sisters, family, all that kind of stuff. Or currently, talk to me about your wife, your kids, all that kind of stuff. And so, kind of the history of their family. For us moving from California to Oklahoma, that's an easy thing to talk about. Hey, when people ask me about that, there's a lot to talk about. And so, when people have moved, talk to them about that. Lean into that. Maybe they, have I don't know, a brother that plays basketball. Maybe you can talk about that, right? Or I don't just talk to them about their family. People love to talk about their family typically. It's a pretty easy, it's a softball pitch to have people talk about their family. It doesn't take a lot of work, right? And then the O there's occupation, or you could put in there like school, something like that, right? So, if you're talking to a student, it might be school. You're talking to an adult, it might be their occupation. So, talk to me a little bit about what you do for a living. Again, student, man, what are you studying? What do you want to do? What with the occupation that you would like to have? But again, talk about their occupation. And again, people typically have an easy time talking about that. And again, one thing that's really important about all of this is to actually care and actually listen and not just, man, I'm just going through this list of questions to get through this conversation and move on. So again, talking about their occupation and actually listen and have some follow-up questions. Oh man, I've always wondered about that, right? Maybe they're a vet, and you just say, oh man, I've always kind of wondered, what is that like? Um, you know, don't ask them for free advice necessarily. That's not, hey, I'm a lawyer. Well, hey, actually, I just got in a car accident. You think you could help me out? I mean, that's, if you want to pay them, go for it. But this isn't just like a free, but like, actually ask some follow-up questions. Now, what is that like? How did you get there? Did you always want to do that? Is that in your family? Especially, hey, in the military, man, do you have, how'd you get into the military? How'd you want to do that? Right. And so ask them those follow-up questions. Again, if they're in school, they're younger, man, what do you want to do? Why is that so passionate for you? What are you learning about that? Who are you learning from? Why'd you decide that? All those kinds of things. So family, occupation, and then the R is recreation. So again, hobbies. What do you like to do for fun? What do you like to do? You like to work out? You like to play sports? You like to read books? You like to watch a movie? What are some of those things that you just like to do for fun? Again, most people have an easy time talking about that. And one of the things that you're trying to do in all of this is find commonality, find some common ground. In their family, maybe you guys are both from the same area. Maybe, oh man, my sister went to the same college as yours. Whatever it might be. So find some common ground. Is one of the biggest things in all of this is what you're looking for. Again, this is not just getting through it, but these are ways to kind of bubble to the top, some common ground for you to then lean into and take that conversation into that direction. So again, recreation, hey, maybe you guys like to do the same sport. For example, like right now, I'm trying to learn about pickleball. And so I've reached out to some people even through social media and say, hey, who's interested in pickleball? And trying to spark some conversation about that, and to get into some new recreation. And so maybe like running. Okay, so talk about running. What shoes do you wear? What mileage do you run? As I'm doing this, youth ministry stuff, I'm diving into that, and oh man, I'm meeting some students that are they're actually in cross country right now. So, oh man, talk about that, man. Oh man, they're injured or their distance or their PR time, right? All that kind of stuff. And so diving into that kind of stuff now, I've got some history with running. Okay. Maybe they're in football, maybe they're in soccer. Well, I've played those too, right? And so maybe you've been a cheerleader and they're a cheerleader, right? So what are those recreation that they're doing? Okay. And then maybe they're into photography, YouTube, all those kinds of things. I just talked to a student the other night. They're starting a YouTube channel. So I talked to them, oh man, what style of YouTube do you want to do? What style of video do you want to do? What camera are you guys using? So I just dove into those conversations with them, because again, they're passionate about that. They're excited about it. I was meeting with some of our student lead, or sorry, our adult leaders, and just talking about some of the shows they're watching, what gym they go to, why they chose that gym, why is it better for them, all that kind of stuff. And then the last one there is M. So you got family, occupation, recreation. The last there is mission. So this is, what are you passionate about? Not just their occupation necessarily, but maybe this is like something that just is they're passionate about. Maybe it's ending human trafficking. Maybe they're passionate about politics. Maybe they're passionate about I don't know, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, whatever it might be, right? Maybe they're passionate about cooking. So what is their mission, their passions? So what gets them excited about, some things other than just going to work all day? And so a lot of times those are different for people, right? Maybe sometimes they go to work for pay, and then they've got a passion for free, right? And so sometimes those worlds intertwine, but a lot of people, they don't. And so this is an opportunity for you to dive into some of that mission, that calling, that deep passion, all that kind of stuff. I just have a mission, like for my wife, she just has a mission to raise great, solid kids, right? And so her occupation is a stay-at-home mom and a homeschool teacher, right? And so, but those mix, right? But for a lot of people, they don't. And so again, talk about their family, talk about their occupation, talk about their recreation, talk about their mission. And your goal in all of this is to find common ground to then take the conversation deeper and further, and for you to begin to connect with that person more than just a handshake. Hey, how you doing? Good to meet you, that kind of thing. So this takes a lot of work for me. This takes a lot of intentionality for me. This is one of those things that when I've done this for a while, I just feel depleted afterwards. But when I've done it well and I've found common ground, man, the energy goes up and I start feeling alive again. I feel like, oh man, I've made some friends. And so it's worth the hard work. It's worth the intentionality, but use F.O.R.M to help you dive deeper into those first contacts with people. Hopefully this video has been helpful for you. Go ahead and like,